Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, I just started talking and realized I was on mute. Thank you all for being here today. I'm super excited. We're gonna go through a few slides and have our chair speak for a moment, and then we'll go through a video that we've produced. The majority of the meeting today will be this produced video that will really showcase and highlight all of our case for support focus areas. You can unmute yourself throughout. We're going to pause about 3 times throughout the kickoff to allow for some engagement time and for some questions and comments. So feel free to unmute yourself throughout this time. You can also put questions in the chat box. I'm going to be monitoring that as we start the video. I'll turn my screen off so I can go through some of those questions, and I'll make sure to get all of those answered. And I'm also going to sporadically put the donate link in the chat box. You'll also see QR codes throughout the PowerPoint. If you hover your smartphone camera over those QR codes, it'll pull up our donation link. I know many of you have already donated, and I'm super thrilled. We're already at about 77,000, and our goal is 140,000. So we've already gone through our staff and our board division. So I'm super excited today. Again, put your questions in the chat box and be prepared to really see and feel our impact today as we go through a lot of this video and you hear from some of our other staff and volunteers. Again, I'm just showing you that our goal is 140,000, and we've already started and finished our staff and our board divisions with almost 100%. And then so now we're moving into our community phase, which is what we're focusing on today. And so you will see all of our impact and stories around hunger relief, learning loss prevention, and access to a healthier life. Those are our 3 main focus areas within the campaign this year. And you'll see our hearts and our theme around healing our community for 2021. And without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Annie Daldridge. She was our vice chair for the campaign last year and is now our chair for the campaign. So welcome, Annie.
Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me. Can you give me a wave if you're hearing me okay? Thank you. I'm excited this morning. I woke up and I harassed Lige, and I got my first donation this morning. So it kind of was a good day already. I've had a lot of coffee, and so kind of buzzing around. Alyssa is our guru of all things fundraising related. So we're in really good hands as far as being organized. She has at her fingertips anything that you are going to need to raise money and support the Y. It's real important that we get out there and hit the streets running, because a kickoff, there's a reason for it, because the momentum gets going and people get excited, and that excitement will travel throughout Rocky Mount, and we need that. The Y is super important to Rocky Mount. Whenever people hear about things going on at the Y, they know that it's going to be done well. And the Y is an organization that carries with it a good reputation. And so we're working towards a goal here, and people just know that they can count on the Y whenever they need to. Now more than ever, there's a need. The feeding the hungry is huge, and it touches my heart, and I hope it does all of yours. And people are willing to give and excited about giving. And each of y'all have given of your time in the past. If not, you're giving your time now, and we appreciate that greatly. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank y'all very much. And a big thank you to Alyssa too.
Thanks, Annie. And we really appreciate you this year. I know that this is your 2nd year, and you've been super helpful for us, and your rah-rah energy just does so much for our campaign. So we're super appreciative. So
well, thank you. Thank y'all.
We're now going to get started in our video, and I'm going to move that over here from YouTube. But we're going to get started First, you'll find out a lot about our hunger relief, and that's where kind of our biggest piece is right now. And then after we go through our hunger relief area, I'll pause. And if you guys have questions, again, type them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself once we pause. Thanks, guys.
Membership at the Y has always been meaningful. While the pandemic has had a negative impact on our organization, it's given us the opportunity to show you what the Y is truly all about.
I sure appreciate and thank y'all for everything y'all have given me. You just don't know how much it really means to me, because sometimes it get hard out here and people hate to ask for something. But you know, I thank God for y'all, and I thank God for the things that y'all do. And y'all doing such a beautiful job.
This program has been a blessing to be a part of because I've had the opportunity to meet and serve so many wonderful families and seniors.
Back in February 2020, we were wrapping up the strategic planning process. We'd met with 30 stakeholders across Nash and Edgecombe County, and in just about every single one of those conversations, food and associated issues with food in our community came up. So we knew that moving into the future, we were going to be working with food and feeding programs. We just weren't sure what that was going to look like. In March of 2020, the pandemic arrived, and we ended up diving into food work with both feet. We very quickly heard about families that were going hungry because of lost jobs, primarily related to the service sector shutting down. And we reached out to community partners. We had wonderful donors, and we were quickly able to start serving those families with food purchased through annual campaign funds. As we identified more need in the community, and we had more partners coming to us with needs from folks that they serve, we reached out to food pantries. We've done a lot of work with the Touch of the Father's Love Food Pantry in Spring Hope and Apostolic Faith Church on Cedar Street here in Rocky Mount. We've been able to pick up food from those food pantries and deliver it to families in need who were going hungry. We also identified or learned about seniors and shut-ins who had transportation barriers to get to food pantries, and we've begun working with them as well, or we've been working with them for almost a year now. We have developed a wonderful network of partners who help us serve and do a great job. We've worked with the 2 food pantries I've already mentioned. We've worked with Rocky Mount Housing Authority. We've worked with Right Revival and their community produce boxes. Someone buys a box, and then Right Revival donates a box to community and someone in the community in need. And we've been able to help partner with them and get those boxes to families, allowing those families to have fresh produce. We also have partnered with Edgecombe County FNEP and have been offering a Power Lunch for Parents class. These parents who signed up for this class get a free produce box and also get a cooking class that also has lots of really amazing information about grocery shopping, saving money, couponing, reading labels, really, really valuable information that they can use in their lives. We've worked with Communities and Schools, has referred folks to us. The Nash County Public School System, especially the ESL teachers and the migrant ed staff, have been wonderful, helped us get food to families in need to help them kind of make ends meet and make sure that everyone in our community is food secure, or at least less insecure, and healthy and thriving. Donations are what allow us to serve. We're able to buy food for these families. We can get healthy, nutritious, culturally appropriate food for our families, rice, beans, tortillas, things that their families really love eating and are good and nutritious for them.
Working for FNEP, which is the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program here in Edgecombe County, what we do is actually we provide cooking classes. So prior to the pandemic happening, I provide cooking classes to primarily low-income families, parents in Edgecombe County, in order to help them reduce their health disparities, increase their overall wellness, and then impart those habits on their children. That way they are raising another generation that's going to be preferably, hopefully, healthier than them. When the pandemic occurred, everything kind of paused for a while and we had to reset really fast in order to be completely in a virtual platform. We found out that we were both trying to reach out to the community in hopes of helping them nutritionally. So after several conversations, we were able to, make that partnership happen so I could have the cooking classes not only to Edgecombe County, but Nash parents as well. So I think that they're definitely benefiting from the expanded borders we temporarily have available. It's a trifecta of a partnership because it's FNEP, the YMCA, and then Ripe Revival. So they're benefiting not only from access to the classes, but also the fresh produce weekly. And it is definitely something that's encouraging them to eat healthier and try new foods. The parents, and as it would be right now, I have a class full of mothers. That's not always the case. The mothers have the children engaged in the class during class. They get the recipe beforehand. So Liz provides the box of produce. I provide the packet with the information and the recipes. They pick both of them up on Mondays, and some of the parents are actually getting the items that are not included in the produce box in order to prepare the food during the day on Tuesday, which is great. Programs like FNEP, programs where Right Revival is paired with the YMCA, they are helping not only the child who is struggling silently, but they're helping the parent who is struggling to help the child. They're helping the parent who's going, I'm waiting for my children to finish eating what's on their food plate because I didn't eat. I'm probably not going to tell my kids. And if there's any food left on the plate, like I have seen my mother and many parents do before, I will eat the rest of what's on their plate before I go and wash that dish. So how can the parent, how can the child live up to their potential if they're struggling to straight up live? These programs really are the lifeblood of helping our low income society, our struggling parents. And right now, the whole United States and the whole world are trying to bounce back from an extended period. I mean, today is the anniversary of when we found out this was a global pandemic. So it's been one whole year.
Yep.
No one could have predicted that it would be this long. No one could have predicted how it would affect households, children, parents, grandparents, physically, emotionally, psychologically, nutritionally. And so we have this hierarchy of needs that we have to take care of one ring before we get to the next one, to go, I can help you to not only help yourself, but help your kids. It's fundamental, it's foundational. Having the Y, having Ripe Revival, and having FNEP, shout out FNEP. We are there to be the change makers, to help them now and help them in the future.
All right, y'all, that was our section on hunger relief. I didn't see any questions come in, but I did put the link for donating. And I put hunger relief first because that is our newest focus area. And that is our newest section for our campaign. And it has been a true blessing, really, to come into contact with so many families that are in need of such a basic necessity that many of us just don't think of on a daily basis, and to be able to provide the food for them and the basic necessities, and to be able to partner with so many awesome organizations that are willing to help and go in feet first has really been so eye-opening for us as staff, for many of our volunteers, and for many of our members and donors that didn't see exactly everything we were doing for the community. This hunger relief section in our campaign has really just been our biggest piece that's tied us together this year and has really helped carry us and many people's lives through this pandemic too. It's been the craziest year, and being able to do this, I think, has provided a lot of relief for many people in many different ways. And so if you're thinking about donating and you're trying to decide how much to donate, I would encourage you to really look further into our hunger relief efforts and to think about that as you decide on your donation. Different levels for hunger relief are listed on, I'll slide this over. When you click on that link for donating, it'll take you here. And this is our online donating and fundraising page. So if you click donate now, it will take you to the page where you donate, and it gives you example amounts. And so you can do the math. Obviously, if you don't want to donate this larger amount, you don't have to. You can donate any amount that you want to, but you can see that $500 a month would provide, or not $500 total would provide a month of food boxes for 12 families. So we just kind of did some math to get to that number, and you can divide that out or multiply, whatever. But that is an example amount for you for our food. And you can go down here, you could click 500, or you could click other and type in whatever amount you would like, or you can click donate monthly, which is an encouraged thing to do. And it's what I do because it's just easier to break out my total amount monthly instead of giving one large sum. But that's totally up to you. But you can use this page to do that. And you can also, if you want to pledge now and pay later and not donate right now, you can click right here and it will take you also to an online pledge form. And you can tell us your total amount and you can tell us how and when you'd like to pay that. So we're totally flexible with that, but you can do that however you see fit. Any other questions? Thanks for that question. That was a good one. If there's no other comments, I'll go ahead and move into our section on learning loss prevention.
It works for me just because as a single parent, I am not worried about if he's getting enough socialization, is he getting his work done, is he being stimulated for his age appropriately. And as a parent, sometimes, most times, it's very hard financially to support everything on your own. So with the donations coming in, a sense of relief that I don't have to provide everything up front. I know I have a role to play as a parent, but it helps that there is someone else who is helping me to be an effective parent. We are Jamaicans, so coming here, it's difficult, you know, learning the culture and everything. And the Y is a place where I can interact with locals, he can interact with locals, they can interact with us. So it's a melting pot of cultures and personalities, and I think for the kids, it's a good place to learn, to interact with, not everyone's gonna be like me. And that doesn't mean that I should treat them differently. And I think the Y has done a great job, with mine, where he just sees everyone as an individual, and he's able to just be himself and not be fearful of anything. I really enjoy the Y. It's just a really good place.
Prior to the pandemic, we were offering after-school care, and when the pandemic hit, we transitioned our programs to be able to provide all-day care in our learning academy to make sure that we were still serving those families and still giving the kids what they need. I would like to thank each of our donors for your continued support. Without your support, we would not be able to provide these out-of-school care programs for so many families in need.
So that was our section on learning loss prevention. Our child care programs have been in operation for many years. I couldn't even tell you the year because they've been around for so long, but we're able to support so many families and children in need of after school care and, support after the end of the school day for working parents. And we've always been there to provide financial assistance for families into those programs, as well as accepting DSS vouchers and things like that. And when the pandemic hit, we really we were there and we couldn't, there wasn't much else we could do for membership services. So we dived in first, not only with food, but with providing that essential childcare for those workers that had to go to work, and then operating our full day learning academy program, because schools were shut down and kids didn't have many options. And so we had to figure out a way to pivot in that area too and serve in whatever way the community needed us to serve. And so we began operating our full day learning academy. We also had some half day options available. And then once schools opened up slightly, we provided before and after school care again, and we've been working on extending into more schools. And so we're really our focus the past few years has really just been trying to make sure we're serving where our community needs us most, whether that be here at the Y or whether that be trying to raise more money and receive more grant funds to expand further into the community and take our programs out and take them where people need us, knowing that transportation may be an issue or a barrier. And so again, learning loss prevention, kids have had a really tough year with their learning and their education and figuring out how they're going to continue to grow in their achievement and success in school. And so we've just been trying to be there for them and those families to make sure they're going to continue learning and to close that learning gap that may have happened this year. And that can also sometimes happen during summer. And so we're able to provide summer camp programs as well. So any questions or comments on our learning loss prevention? Anything anyone wants to share? And again, you can type questions, you can type comments, you can do reactions in the chat box. I want this to be engaging, so if you guys have anything that pops in your head, please share it. And again, this QR code on the screen, you can hover over that for the donate link with your camera. And I just put the donate link again in the chat box. Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, then I'll press forward into our last focus area, which is around access to a healthier life. I hear you, Andy. Andy said donate to his page.
Welcome back. My name is Michelle Johnson. I'm the Healthy Living Director here at the YMCA. We are so excited to have you guys back, even though we're at limited capacity.
One good thing if you could get more people involved, because you get to know more of the residents out here. And I think if more people here would find out that you're not in here doing exercises that a 20-year-old would do, but you know, they would find out it's not so strenuous that they can't do it.
Free of Try Something New Thursday. And I've got 3 new friends with me. I've got this into a document. All you need is a pair of dice. You'll shake them, roll them. If it's a 4, if it's a 5, that's how many of the exercise you do. I want to see.
The thing that I think I love most about the Y is, again, that it provides not only an atmosphere for working out and focusing on the body, but what's also important is the social dimension of being at the Y. Because for us, being in that class, we have friends, we have bonded with each other. When we're not there, we're looking for each other, we check on each other.
When I come out here and exercise, it's not just exercise, it's fellowship. And anytime that you can find enjoyment in your exercise, that's a big help. So it's not just here for a profit. So much of the money goes towards community.
Annual campaign helps support so much of all of our outreach programming. So it's essential to what Healthy Living is able to do out in the community. In 2020, we also had to pivot and be really creative. Due to the pandemic, when our facility was shut down, we went out into our field, and many of you participated in that, and we were so grateful that we were able to serve you in whatever way we could. We've also been able to go out into the community and serve in other ways that help support healthy living, including our feeding program. We've been able to build relationships with new community partners that's going to just help us grow our outreach and be able to take our healthy living out into the community. We're getting ready to launch a walking program out in a community with the Rocky Mountain Housing Authority, and that's a relationship that grew out of the feeding work we're doing due to the pandemic. In 2021, we are going to be able to launch blood pressure self-monitoring, and we're looking at doing that both virtually and in person. We're very excited about that. We're involved with YUSA right now, building out that program so it'll launch later this year. We're also hopeful that we'll be able to take enhanced fitness back out into the community. Right now, we're able to run it virtually. We have a great class right now that's running in this studio 3 times a week virtually. great group of class participants, and we look forward to expanding that over time. We have a very exciting partnership right now with Healthy Living Department and membership. We're going to be launching KidFit, relaunching KidFit very soon, where we will have kids who are on active memberships be able to make a reservation in Child Watch, and they'll be able to come do physical activity, 6 to 10-year-olds. During the time that they would usually be in Child Watch, we'll be taking them out into the gym and doing other things in the facility to help them be active and fit. We have our medical exercise training with Joy Lane leading that program. We've got great participants doing that. And we'll continue to build and build and build as we come out of this pandemic. A huge thank you to our donors and members, our members who stayed with us and our members who stayed with us as they were able to. We understand that that wasn't possible for everybody. We so appreciate the members who made the choice to do that, and also our donors who make so much of our work possible in healthy living and other departments within the Y.
We know that this year has been especially tough for both our community and members, and we'd like to thank each of you for your donations and membership dues, because without you, we would be unable to keep our doors open and serve all of these families by providing food and childcare through the pandemic.
It takes to get through the Y is great.
All right. So that is the end of our video. If I can get it closed. So before we move forward, I just kind of wanted to pose this question. Now that you all have seen a little bit more of our impact around each of our 3 focus areas, hunger relief, access to a healthier life, and learning loss prevention. If you could, some of you please type in the chat, where do you feel like it makes the most impact or has the greatest need? Type that in the chat and we'll see if we can come up with some conversations around that. And in the meantime, there was a question about offering Learning Academy to children who have fallen behind in their academics this past year. So as we continue to evaluate our needs and our plans, we will certainly continue to offer Learning Academy next year if that need is there. We do have summer day camp in the summertime. That is also a full day program. They do some of the same curriculums, but they're obviously not working on homework and stuff, but they will still work on any academics and learning enrichment activities, as well as playtime and teamwork and character development skills. If anyone else on the call wants to share anything else about summer camp, feel free to. All right, so a lot of people have answered in the chat box, and a lot of people have said that hunger relief is where they feel the greatest need is. And I agree. I think that hunger relief, as I said in the beginning, has been one of our biggest needs in the community. And even before the pandemic hit, we had already been meeting with stakeholders for strategic planning. And Liz talked about this earlier in the video. But that was already rising as a top need, and not even just hunger relief, but nutrition and creating better access to healthy foods and teaching the community how to better be healthy with nutrition and not just physical activity. So I think that as we continue to grow this program, you'll probably see more things stemming out of this, such as the Power Lunch for Parents, where we're partnering with FNEP to offer a virtual cooking class where they not only get foods that they need, but they learn how to cook that. So it's a more sustainable process where they can take what they've learned, and it's something that they continue to teach to their children, and then their children can teach to their children. So the hope is to close that gap and to create opportunities where people can learn how to be healthy, how to get better access to foods, and then kind of continue that throughout their life. More answers coming in around hunger. And so, yeah, obviously, you know, that may be a top need. And so that may be somewhere where we should continue to focus more attention to. And there was also a few responses around closing that learning gap. And, you know, we'll continue to learn more about how we can do that as well. And maybe we implement more of that type of curriculum into summer camp as well. Any other questions before I talk more about how to donate? Any other comments? Anything anyone wants to just share? Anything that they've saw today that really intrigued them, something they didn't know before? And you can just hit unmute as well if you want to just talk out loud. Anything surprising that you thought, wow, I really didn't know that about the why? Sue said this makes it real. Yeah, we spent some time trying to figure out what are the best things to show you guys, because there's so much that happens here all the time. And I think we did a pretty good job of capturing kind of the high points of what we're trying to focus on, and then having people that were willing to share how it helps them. If you saw the lady that shared a few comments about how we've helped her get food, and she even said to us off camera, she said, you know, I just want y'all to know that I do appreciate it, and I'm not going to take advantage of it. I don't want anyone to feel like, you know, I'm just taking your food and I just want to continue to take it. Like she even said, I want to only take it until I don't need it anymore. Like I want to make sure that you guys know it's appreciated, and that, you know, I'm going to continue to do what I can to learn how to get access to my own food and to share this with others. There was also another lady who didn't want to be on camera, but she has been, out of the kindness of her heart, we deliver her food every Wednesday, and she gives us $4 to $7 each week, because she wants to make sure that just because we're giving her food, that she's giving back too. She wants to make sure that we know she's going to give what she can, because she appreciates it that much. Yeah, Miss Mabel. Ashley said that's Miss Mabel. Yeah. And Kayla said, Kayla's our senior program director. She said, even being a part of the work, I'm shocked at all that we've been able to accomplish in a year's time in the middle of a global pandemic. Thankful for donors that make the work possible. That's so true, because this campaign can be tough every year. I know many of our volunteers on the call know that. You know, it's very grassroots and very intentional. You know, you're calling 30 people, you're specifically talking to those people and sharing what the campaign's about. And then for us, you know, it takes us months to recruit the volunteers and get them the information they need and do the trainings. But at the end of it all, when it normally closes in May, we know that all of these dollars coming in make this work possible. I mean, truly, if we did not have these donations, we wouldn't be able to do this work. We wouldn't be the charity that we are. We wouldn't be able to provide all of this outreach program and go into the community and provide healthy living programs to seniors who can't get to the Y or feel uncomfortable coming to the Y, or providing that swim lesson to the kid that, let's face it, he has a higher potential of drowning because he does not have access to swim lessons. He doesn't have access to learn how to swim. Or the child whose parents can't afford a full week of summer camp, but thanks to donations, they can afford half of summer camp. Just so many different aspects that would not happen, and we would not be who we are today without these donations. So I really appreciate all of our volunteers and all of our donors and all of our staff that make it happen. Elaine said, wonderful to have community partnerships, and that's super true. Without partnerships, we couldn't make this happen either. We're able to combine forces and to combine areas where each of us does good in. So areas where we can provide certain pieces to the program to make it work, because we can't do it alone. And then Annie asked how we can share the video with citizens of Rocky Mount. And we actually just published this video on YouTube this morning. And so we will be marketing this video out and we'll be sharing it. And I'm also recording this entire kickoff. So I'll be able to share this whole meeting with our community too. And we'll post it on our website. And volunteers, if you want to share it out, definitely share that out as well. Does anyone have any other suggestions on how to get the video out and what would be a good idea to share this with the greater community other than the mediums that we have? We have email, we have social media. Does anyone have any other thoughts on how to get that video out? And it could be that I email it to each of you and you guys share it. Ursula said through churches. That's a great idea. If you guys have a list of churches to contact and how to contact them, we can definitely send them this video, or you guys can send them the video. Facebook. I can actually. I can send you guys the link to the video right now in the chat, and that way you guys can go ahead and save it. So there's the link to the video. Okay, anything else you guys want to share or comment before we move forward? I appreciate everyone's comments in the chat and your engagement throughout this. Okay, so just as a reminder, I know I've been putting the donate link in the chat, but you can donate online, you can pledge online. We also have physical pledge cards here at the Y. And if you've seen our large brochure wall over to the left of the front desk, we put them all there. Again, pledge online, donate online. Here's this link again right here. And I'll put it in the chat box again. But that link right there will give you options for pledging or donating. And then once a month, we send thank you letters and receipts in the mail. So you'll make sure to get that. And then at the end of the year, we always send end of year tax receipts. So even if you received a receipt right after your donation, you'll receive another one at the end of the year with your total donations. Any questions on how to donate? I'm about to put the YouTube link in the chat again because I realized I sent it to someone privately instead of to the whole group. Okay, there's the YouTube video. So please share that. Please share that with all of your networks. All right, so to wrap up, I'm going to pass it to our CEO, Jacqueline Price. Jacqueline, you're on mute.
Sorry. Start just from really thanking all you guys from getting on the call this morning and taking the time to listen to our areas around learning, loss prevention, hunger relief, and access to care. I think the video, to me, as well as humbling based on where we were a year ago when everything shut down, and try to look at the positive of COVID with the challenges presented has really allowed this organization to take the time to hone in on what our community needed. I think it's evident, to Kayla's point, it surprises me on what we could accomplish in a year, but we couldn't have done that without the volunteers and the donors and the time and energy that everybody's put in to help us be successful to serve that community. So I'll just close by making sure that I want you guys to understand you're appreciated. We need your continued support and efforts to keep us in this positive space we are, so that we are able to serve those in need. And the people who need us most in the community. So we thank you for your time and look forward to this being a successful campaign as we move forward. Thank you.
Hey, before we close, guys, I forgot to show you, Ashley reminded me, I forgot to show you the end of our video. I want to show you that really quick before we close out. If it'll let me. Here we go.
As we focus our efforts for the 2021 annual campaign on healing our community after such a tough year, I hope that you all have seen the true benefit of the YMCA today. As we focus on hunger relief efforts, learning loss prevention, and creating better access to a healthier life, I hope that you will be encouraged to give with your heart. Your support means so much to so many, and we thank you in advance. Donate today. Donate today.
Donate today.
Donate today.
There you go. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that part. Okay. Thanks, guys. Again, donate online, pledge online, physical pledge cards here, and try to have all donations in by May 18th so we can wrap up and then celebrate before Memorial Day. So thanks, guys.